Well, hey guys, I hope you've had a fantastic Christmas and an equally as impressive New Year's. I just want to update you with what's been going on in the world of Steve lately. So let's start off with the car that's behind me, the TR6. So last time this car was in a video, there was nothing in the interior, and now I'm getting ready to stick the gearbox back in. There's also an uprated heater matrix there. The engine bay's all been resprayed, and that's thanks to my friend Motorbike Dan. Now hopefully this year I do want to get him in a few videos, you know, with a few of his bikes and us, you know, riding out throughout the countryside. And the other great milestone is that thanks to Forenza Paul, the engine is now back where it belongs, back in the engine bay of the car. Now there's a very good reason I've not actually featured this car a lot in my videos, and that's basically because it's so tight in here you can barely swing a dog. Believe me, I've tried. No. So I would like to feature this TR6 a little bit more in my videos, seeing as it's one of the very first ones built. It kind of seems a bit historically important to actually get it in a few more videos, as it is the 50th anniversary of the TR6 this year. And this car was actually built in January 1969, making it one of the oldest ones on the road. So I'll tell you what I'd do, if you guys are up for it, is if you guys can start spreading my videos and get me up to 1,000 subscribers by, say, April. And if I get this car running by April, I'll do a YouTube live of its first startup in 2 years. How about that for a deal? So moving on to the Dolomite, well, last year when I was running the car, I noticed that the front suspension was really ropey, and that can be expected really for a 40-year-old car. So what I've got is a new set of Super Pro bushes, and I've got on order a set of gas shock absorbers, so hopefully we'll get those fitted in a video at some point soon. Some of you guys on the forums noticed that my indicator and side lights were ran the wrong way around, and I didn't actually know that they were wrong. So this is the joys of the internet and social media, is that we can tell each other these sorts of things. So yeah, I have changed those around. I'm not going to put those in a video because it's only undoing 2 screws, turning them around and putting them back in the other way, but they are right now, so that's great. I've also brought a set of new numplates for the car, because the ones that are on it, I think the front one is the actual original one from 1977. But yeah, they're a bit ropey and a bit manky, so I got those from the numplate centre, and I'll leave a link in the box below. But these, I know the font isn't correct because it's been modernised for whatever reason, but they're so much better than the ropey ones that are currently on it. So we'll get those fitted. So yeah, I don't think anyone can deny these new number plates. They look so much better than the originals. Now this is the original front number plate. I'm going to get the camera to focus in on that. Look at that. Nasty, horrible. It's all just flaking and coming apart the back end. So yeah, I'm well happy with that. Yeah, I'd recommend number plate sensitive to anyone. And before anyone comments, you know, I've used self-tappers. Don't worry, I am going to change those. I'm going to nip down Halfords and get the proper, you know, screws to hold the number plates in. So that'll all be sorted out. But yeah, lovely, so much better. Well pleased. Right, we're moving on to the Bantam. There's a few jobs that I need to do to it. At the moment, the bike seems to jump out of 4th gear, so I think that's the gear dogs that I've worn. So that's going to be a case of taking the engine out, stripping it out, having a look, make sure everything's aligned nicely.
and just sorting out what's wrong. I mean, the clutch on it at the moment, it's a bit hard to pull, so that's just a slight adjustment. So I think that's where I might go first with it, is just adjust the clutch to make sure it's not pulling itself out of gear when it's being revved hard. And then once we've sorted out that, then I'll go ahead and decide whether it needs stripping or not, because it might just be that the clutch adjustment's out. There's the other thing as well. Some of you who have watched my videos will already know, I put the speedo in it last year because I was having difficulty finding somebody to bend the bevel back on the speedo, and I found somebody who could do it for me, so I've got that back in. But she keeps snapping speedo cables, so there's only really one other thing that's going to be, and that's the speedo drive. So we're going to have to obviously take the rear wheel off and replace the speedo drive, and fingers crossed that'll keep the speedo going. Well, I keep getting asked about the GT6 and what's happening with it. Well, as you can see, at the moment, not a lot, and that's a lot down to the fact that it's not my car and it's up to Danny to invest in it. But when it does happen, it's going to happen. But I just want to quickly show you around, because last time we done a video on this car, we never actually really showed you the extent of how bad this car is. So, if you look down the back here, there's really not a lot left of the rear wheel arch at all. The insides of it, I've got my hand actually in the car there. The inner sills, there's no outer sills to it. It's rotten as a pear. If you take a look inside, even the drawer drops, that's how bad it is. It's all there. It's original, which is nice, but it needs a hell of a lot of work doing to it. There's a few little things that other people have put on over the time, but that doesn't really need to be there. But it's an original car, and that's the great thing about it. I think this is why Danny wanted to preserve it and build it up to how he wanted it. When you take a look at the engine bay, again, even the wings, there's new wings for it that are inside it, new floor pans. They're just absolutely rotten. Lifting up the mains of the bonnet is that lovely 2-litre engine, which, as you remember last time, I unseized it, so it still turns over nicely. It would be nice to fire it up, but it hasn't got an exhaust system. So really, unless we invest in an exhaust system, it's not going to be nice for the people around here to listen to a super loud car just on testing. These are all things that can be addressed, the car can be fixed, but it's all just time, money and effort, and it's not me who's investing in it, it's Danny. There's no hole here, there's a great big lacking hole where the battery would be. It's in quite a sorrow state, this car, but it will get done at some point. Then we'll take a look around the back of this GT6, and she's just beautiful. All the lines are all there, but she's rotted. I think the best thing that we've got going for her at the moment is the fact she's got 4 brand new tyres on her. Right, so the main reason this car hasn't had a lot done to it has a lot down to the fact of licensing. We brought the car as a barn find, well, Danny did, and yeah, basically we applied for the DVLA like you do with a barn find, give them the information that they require from you, they give it back, and normally you get a V5. It's lovely jubbly, nice simple process, get a V5, you start restoring your car. Didn't happen with this. We found out that the car was exported in 1985, well, at least it's been off the road since, I say 1985, 1987, it's been off the road since 1987. And at some point between then and now, it's been overseas. So after 3 months after applying for the V5 for it, it got bounced back to me who's applying for it, for Danny, and I've been told that it's been exported and I need to apply for a Nova. So I've applied for that Nova, sent that off to the DVLA, and fingers crossed, touch some wood somewhere, we'll get back a V5, and then as soon as we get that, I can hand the logbook to Danny. Danny can sign it off, and hopefully we can start restoring this car. I mean, it would be nice to see if we can get the engine running at some point, you know, maybe this year, maybe next year, but there's not going to be any quick progress on this car anytime soon, so don't expect to look it up on YouTube anytime soon. But if you do, you know, keep an eye on it anyway, because you never know, I might do another video on it here and there. I mean, who knows, I might even, well, got an oil pressure problem in the Spitfire, haven't I? So maybe engine, GT6 engine in a Spitfire. So lastly, I want to make a little apology to some of you guys that I haven't made many videos with the Spitfire lately, and that's got a lot to do with money. You know, parts obviously cost money, and to get the car running is going to require money, but I have been collecting parts, so it's not being neglected. I have got a new oil pump for it, so hopefully we can get out and do some nice videos with the car actually running without it breaking down and losing oil pressure. So we'll get a video done of that soon. And I've got a brand new dashboard for it, so that's going to look nice, and I'll put a link in the description below from where I got that dashboard when I fit it. And I've got an original gear knob as well. I brought this, it was all a bit manky and whatever, so I've overhauled this myself. It's just literally spray painting it, sanding it back, you know, spray painting white to give the colour, sand it back smooth, and then spray paint it black, and you know, you just get the colours by keep sanding back and spraying and sanding back and spraying, and eventually lacquering it. And I think this gear knob looks absolutely beautiful now, so that's going to go on and replace this gear knob which keeps coming off, because that's just an aftermarket piece of crap, so that can just be thrown out the window. And we've got this beautiful early, well, I say early, Mark III and TR4. I'm not sure what the difference between a Mark III and a TR4 steering wheel is. I think they're about an inch difference in diameter. Maybe you guys will leave a comment in the box below and let me know. But this beautiful steering wheel, again, this was an eBay buy, and again I overhauled it myself because the outside of this was really quite in a bad way. So this was just sanded back on the outer paint work, and just resprayed and lacquered. And well, you put the two together, and I mean, it says it all really, doesn't it? This is just a much better steering wheel, going back to the original. And what I said in the last video of the Spitfire, you know, I couldn't see the oil gauge. I'm sure my cousin here, who's doing the camera work for me, will come round the back and show you that if you look down the old steering wheel, and you'll see what I mean. The steering wheel here just totally covers the temperature gauge. You can't see at all, and that's a very important gauge to use. You put the original steering wheel on, and it's thin around the edges, which I know some people don't like thin steering wheels, they like quite grippy ones, but it's a classic car, it don't go that fast, so why do you need to grip it that hard? And yeah, you can see everything you need to see. So I think as a last point to this video, let's get the gear knob fitted and the steering wheel fitted, and we'll call it a day at that. Well, that's much better, you know, a proper steering wheel in this car, and you know, the proper gear knob, so yeah, I can actually see what I'm doing rather than this absolute heap of crap that can just go out the way, you know, to somebody else's car on eBay. if they want it by now. It would probably end up going in the bin. I know I haven't reconnected the horn, so the horn is still down here, but that's a job for the future. The wiring loom is all still there to do that, and I will get round to doing that at some point. So we'll have the washer pump put where it should be, where the horn is currently, and put a washer bottle in where it should be down at the front of the engine bay. But I hope you've enjoyed that, you know, a quick update of the whole fleet, and I hope you all have a great 2019. And I'd like to know in the comments box what you'd like to see more of, you know, in my videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and Happy New Year to everyone.